Okay, just making sure. Okay, there you go. The stream is live. Okay, just posting a notice about this on the board for VRF Chronicles. Try to get at least somewhat more organized with this. Okay, just gonna leave it on here for right now. General reminder, all the stuff you're gonna be seeing today for VRF Chronicles is all still a work in progress. This is for the upcoming Gray release. I was going to have more for the Gray Lab, but I kind of did some reworks how it was going to work out in my head, because I didn't want it to be like the Green Lab, because the Green Lab is going to be more like your traditional dungeon in Final Fantasy, where it's, you know, you go through, you find keys, you open doors, that kind of stuff. But I decided with the Gray Lab, I wanted to be a little bit more about mystery, puzzles. There's still gonna be combat, but it's gonna be a little bit different of an area. So just to keep the mystery of the puzzles closed off, I'm not gonna put out as many rooms as I did as Green Lab. It's pretty much gonna be the gate room and some updates to the Gray Lab itself. I'm trying to think if there's what else I could say about the. Oh yeah, main thing behind this update, there's a lot of back end stuff, and I mean a lot of back end. I can't really show it because I'd have to switch to monitor capture, and I don't exactly have the right setup right now for that. I only have one monitor. I need a second. I really should get a second monitor, but back on topic though. The backend stuff that I've done, I mentioned it on the VRF Game Jolt page. I am adding I did a couple reworks. I removed the mage class from the testing, and I have instead replaced it with a knight class more focused on tanking, which I actually need to go through some code and change that at the change station for right now, because it's still set to mage. The whole thing with the knight class, it's going to be a lot of tanking skills, so it's going to be things like a barrier and a shield to increase the various defense stats. The reason for this change is I'm reworking the context of magic. magic is going to be rolled into sigils or signs. I haven't fully settled on the name yet. But basically, they're going to be an equipable item that will give you spells and abilities. Currently, the signs, the sigils I have in the game is the sigil of fire, the sigil. Basically, give me a second. I'm pulling up the database on here. I've got one for fire, water, sparks, and healing. The sigils are going to do things like change your defense rate and give you access to the various spells of the game. The other thing that is going to be changed because of this, any skill that comes from a class. So using the knight again, barrier and shield, which increase the defense stats, are going to be... They're going to use TP as the cost instead of MP. Though I might switch the TP term, I haven't decided yet. I would use class points, but yeah, no, that comes out a little too wrong for me. But, so what I'm going to do instead is... I'm going to... No, I'm trying to find the right way to describe this. So I'm going to go with these class points, and they're going to will let you use the shield and everything else. The only other issue I gotta figure out, though, is a better way to generate it. Just because, by default, the starting TP is 0. Though it does accrue over time, and if I remember correctly, it does carry over. It doesn't reset. But some of these class skills will actually be better than sigils, but your class is so important because of the fact your class will determine your stat growth. For example, on the healer class, I took off the heal spells, put them onto the sigil, instead gave it a weaker version of healing called it's called medicine. It's gonna heal you by, like, I think if I remember correctly, the equation was 50 plus magic attack. And then I also gave the ability first aid, which is just cure all status effects. So some will be better, some will be worse, but they're cheaper to cast. My mindset being this will allow for more dynamic party builds. So instead of just being like, oh, I will have a team of all mages and I won't really have anything physical, or I'll have a team of all warriors, I won't have any magic now. You always will still have access to magic and will always have access to a way to exploit an enemy's weakness. This has been a lot of the past month's development since the Green Lab. I was going through a little bit of a crash course trying to remember how, because here's the thing, I had the script for how this worked in the game. I just never actually used it. This was the script by Moogle X, if you actually got to the credits of the first day. Which, I apologize again for, like, some of the jank shit from when that released. Oh, sorry about that. Yawning a little bit tired. I'm burning can at both ends, doing a lot right now. But, I'm trying to think what else to say, if there's anything else about that system. I will say this, I'm going to kind of acknowledge this, based on the feedback I got from the... What am I talking about? Oh, yeah. Based on the feedback I got from the first demo of the fall, which is just... Well, it's actually just the green snapshot. I saw a bit of support for the... Here, if I can just switch over back to the Green Lab. This format of encountering enemies, which is just having them roam the field. The only issue I have with doing this is, as far as I can tell with this engine, I can't have it as random encounters. I have to set the encounters on the enemies beforehand. So I'm not exactly jazzed about that one. I haven't decided if I'm going to stick with this yet, though there was a bit more support for this one. Um, if I can figure out how to do it in a random system, I will. Uh, and then I guess now it'll just be some, because like that's really all I have to say in terms of development and updates. It's been a lot of back end stuff. There's going to be the new system going forward. Um, no, while I'm here, while it's off on the top of my head. Uh, change that to night. I need to change the shard. Wait, not. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of the shards. And just so I don't need to. There we go. So I've pretty much, I will say this, I have pretty much settled though in terms of the switching the jobs or I'm calling them classes. I keep calling it jobs though because I've been playing a bit of Final Fantasy 14 in my free time, so it's stuck in my head. Um, it also doesn't help that it and Final Fantasy fives kind of, and Octopath Travelers serve as inspiration for the system. But I've decided that that's just going to be through save points. It's not going to be an on the field thing. It's easier with this engine to do it that way. Oh, sorry, yawning a little bit. On the other side, though, yeah, I think I got everything else I wanted to say in terms of development. Development is kind of slowing down a little bit just because of the time. The main issue is getting the Red Lab done right now because I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because for those unaware of how I've been doing the updates for this, it's been one lab a month. The main issue is going into December because we got the holidays and everything. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. I'm very busy in the month of December. I mean, outside of just everything with work and everything, I've got family stuff to do, and then on December 28th we have the anniversary of the channel. So it's gonna be a bit of a busy month. So I'm trying to think here. Um, but yeah, I think that's really all I have to say though in terms of development for right now. Just because it's gonna be a little bit slower, but don't get me wrong, we will still keep working on the game. I'm not stopping. It's still I'm a solo developer right now, so it's expect some slower work. The only thing I guess I have to talk about is actually something when I posted about this that I'd say I talk about. Like when I posted on the. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, I forgot on that. It's all encrypted. I gotta find the original. Give me 1 second. That does not help. That did not help. And you know, I think it's just is it in my local. You just had to give me 1 second. I'm just trying to remember where the original file for this game is. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to rename the file. I always have to. Okay, a little behind the scenes stuff. I always have to remember to rename the files for this because the base file I used for this wasn't actually um the VRF. It was the because I've mentioned before. VRF is using a lot of repurposed assets from other games I've started but haven't finished. That's images, characters. Uh, I'm not gonna introduce all. The way I think I'm gonna do it today, just because. Okay, sorry. I'm a little all over the place. I am. I'm not really the best in terms of post development blogs. Sorry, stretching. So to talk about though, what I was gonna say though, I'm going to talk about some of the characters that are going to be part of the actual full game, which is what I've been calling part 3. Um, I mentioned in the last one I did in September that all of the main characters, like the main party members, are at least visible in the first day. You don't talk to all of them, but you do see them. So I think I will talk a little bit about a couple of them. I'm mostly only going to talk about one today, just because I want to. A lot of this game revolves around the mystery behind the characters, so I'll just kind of give you their summaries, or at least not even their summaries. I'm going to talk about them in the sense that you, the player, knows them, which actually just means I can talk about 2 of them. Give me a second, just going to hide the window capture. Or not, because. But I'm not going to do it that way, just because. Give me a second. I'm just gonna copy the ones I'm gonna talk about today. Image. There it is. Hmm? Oh wait, no, I was in the wrong file. Where's that the oh, that's the first deployed file I did. So I'm gonna use it first. The ones I'm gonna talk about today are going to be the reporter you can meet in the opening hallway of the first day. And Morgan, who you meet in the gray lab. I have mentioned that pretty much anyone who had a character portrait is free game to join the party. Just because I'm not going to make a bunch of character portraits for unimported characters, I guess the right way to put it. So, the first talk about the reporter, the mindset I have with her is, of course, as I've said, she's going to be a reporter who's trying to learn the truth of the VRF complex. That's how she's going to get caught up in all the chaos. My mindset with her skill set that I want to give her is I want to give her some stuff related to stab reveals, but I haven't got that code working yet, so I've got a couple different things going on. And Morgan is the one who has probably the most mystery behind what she's doing there. Being, if you read the files I stashed around in the first day, you'll see that Morgan doesn't exactly get along with upper management. That will be important when it comes to the full release. I'm trying to be a little bit vague because Morgan in particular, her story is going to be a key element. The other characters are mentioned. Actually, I just realized I have to correct myself. They're not all seen. They're at the very least all mentioned. So there's one character who is not seen at all during during the first day, but she's mentioned a few times. In terms of the main cast, yeah, no, all four of them are oh god. I'd like to say more. Honestly, I want to say more, but I'm trying to keep like the level of mystery. I think I'm gonna reveal more about. I'm gonna stash probably a little bit about them, like info wise, in the fall, but still gonna try to avoid spoiling some stuff, especially for the last two party members, because the one of the last two is the main character, like the one you're gonna be like your player character throughout the whole game. The other one is sorry, is very important to the narrative, and anything I really say about her story is going to spoil the entire game. Yeah, like I said though, I'm sorry that like there isn't like a lot to say about this. I'm going to try to do some. I want to try to do some more development streams but mostly because I also want to give like actually receive audience feedback live. There isn't really much to say going into December though. I'm going to be putting up the gray update by the end of the month. I'll have a couple more rooms for the gray lab, and the main thing is going to be the sigil test because I need feedback on that. Oh, sorry. The red lab update's going to be a little bit more substantial just because the red lab is going to be much more combat focused. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. Oh, I have to say I don't really have anything else to say. That's pretty much all it is. Going into the new year, when we go into January, I will say this, we'll be entering into full narrative development of the fall, so there's going to be a lot less updates, mostly because it's going to just be me sitting and working. I'm not going to do like every month I try to give an update thing that I've been doing for the maps. So yeah, it's going to slow down, and I'm mostly going to I'm going to do a lot of text posts onto the Game Jolt page, so if you are interested in this game's development, I do suggest following that. But there's not very much else I could say as to what will be going on. With that though, I'm gonna actually get back to work on VRF. I got nothing else to say for the day. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Because I didn't want to pour like a lot of time into this stream, mostly because it's time taken away from working on VRF. But that though, I hope you all enjoy your day.